What is going on, YouTubers? Jay here from Maji and Jay. Today, just like the title says, I'll be showing you how to install a smart Android radio on any Kia from 2009 to current. And in this particular example, I'm using a Kia Forte 2012. But like I said, guys, it works for almost any Kia model out there from 2009 to current. So you have to ask the seller yourself. Go ahead and click the link below and you will see this particular radio, but you can message the seller and ask them if they have it for other models like a Sorento, Optima, and so on and so forth. So the way I got the car for this particular radio is actually kind of cool. Well, as you guys know, I work for the post office and I did install the Android radio on my Dodge Ram 1500, and this particular coworker saw it and said, hey, I want it for my Kia Forte 2012. I said, well, let me ask the seller that provided mine and see if they have it, and yes, they had it. He went ahead and ordered it through me, and here I have it, guys. I'm providing this tutorial thanks to this particular coworker, so this is very cool. And this time his radio came on a very, I would say, decent box here. Mine came on a yellow tape box that looked like crap, and that's why you guys didn't see that box when I provided the information for my radio. So at least now we have that, and this one also has something that mine doesn't have, so I'm a little bit jealous. This one has an octa-core processor and mine has a quad-core processor. So that's the main difference between both radios in terms of functionality. It still has the same 2 GB of RAM, Android 6.0, 32 GB of internal memory, and so on and so forth. Now this radio here is not the Tesla style. It's going to be just the standard touchscreen, but it still has a very, very big display. It is a 9-inch display. But let's go ahead and waste no more time here, guys, and open this box so that way we can check the contents inside. So this radio right now retails for about $378. Now he has the non-touch screen radio, and it actually broke on his 2012. I guess he had some sort of accident. I don't know if he spilled something on the radio or accidentally hit it with something, and it stopped working, and the dealership wanted $700 for a non-touchscreen radio. He said there's no way I'm paying for that. So this one here, guys, was only $378, and he's getting all the Android features, steering wheel controls, GPS, of course the touchscreen. So this one offers way more than the factory radio. So anyways, here we have some bubble wrap inside. So let me go ahead and remove all this bubble wrap, and here comes the radio. So here we have it. Okay, and I'm gonna set it aside here for just a second. It comes with just a few connections. I guess that Kia decided to keep things very simplistic, and I do appreciate that, because on my Dodge Ram 1500 we even had a CAN bus that needed to be hooked up to the wire harness, as you guys know. So this one here doesn't have a CAN bus. As you guys can tell, it is just the wire that goes on the radio to the one that connects to the Kia. The next accessory that comes inside of this bag is going to be the USB ports. This one goes on the back side of the radio, and this you will have to run it along the front side of the bezel, in which in this case I won't recommend it. Most likely he'll be using the Bluetooth capability, so this is not really necessary to complete the installation. It comes with two of them. You have one here, and this is the second one, as you guys can tell, so you can hook up both of them if that's what you really want. Next we got here the camera wiring. In case you want the reverse capabilities, you can go ahead and enable it with this particular radio, which is really cool. And we have here the antenna, the FM antenna adapter. So this one will go connected to a white plug from the Kia, and it goes into the radio this way. This is the standard antenna connector for AM and FM. Keep in mind that this radio doesn't have the XM radio, so that's a feature that you will lose. Next we got here the GPS antenna. Now here they're kind of funny about this information. I mean, this thing is quite simple to install, guys. You don't need to be a professional to do it. All you need to do is make sure that this thing is up high in the car, meaning underneath the dashboard, or maybe near the visor, but this thing needs to be up high in order to get the best signal reception. That's pretty much it. But here they're giving us this note that says that, well, they're not responsible if you do not install the GPS properly. Okay, so this time I got a different message. Actually, when I ordered the one for my Ram 1500, it didn't have this. But again, guys, it came from the same seller, very responsive. This guy has over 11,000 stars and 99% feedback. So I'm assuming that this guy is going to work the same way with everybody else. He knows that I'm making this video, and of course, I got a little bit of a discount. It was only like $60 or $80, but that's because I'm doing this tutorial for you guys. So anyways, guys, let me go ahead and set all the accessories aside and check here the radio with a little bit more details. Alright guys, so here we have the radio out of the bag that it came with, and this is the 9-inch display that I was talking about before. It comes with some capacitive keys here on the side, and I do apologize that I had to place it on an angle. It's because this thing is quite huge and I can't fit it here inside of the camera, so I do apologize for that. But anyways, here we have the power key, the home key, the back key, the volume rockers up and down. You can also increase and decrease the volume directly from the radio. We have the microphone as well as the reset key, very similar to what we saw on the Dodge Ram 1500, and towards the right here we have nothing. Now all these holes that we see on the bezel, this is because we have the AC controls. So you had the defroster, you had the rear defroster, and I think the one on the top is the intermittent light or the emergency lights. Then in the middle we have a knob here, and then we have the AC controls on the side, and everything will come out as one piece. So on the back side here, we're going to find all the connections. We can of course hook up an amp on here, even though I don't see the wire inside of this bag. Maybe they forgot to add it, but we have here the connections for it, and also we got the connection here for the GPS as well as the radio antenna. So everything here goes installed very easily. And even here on the back side of the radio, you guys can see we have the main connection for the main harness, which is this one right here. You will plug it in on the back side, and now your Kia Forte, or the Kia that you are installing it from 2009 to current, is going to have most likely 3 connections. One of them is for power, the other one is for the steering wheel controls, which I think is the one on the bottom here, and then the one in the middle is going to be for the speakers. So that's what I'm assuming so far based on what I see on this particular connector that came with the radio. And now to complete the disassembly process of the Kia Forte, you're going to need several different tools, and one of them is a pry opening tool. You will need some hex bits. I believe in this particular case it's a T17. And finally, a Phillips screwdriver in order to remove certain components from the back side of the radio. So the first thing you guys must do is remove the 2 side vents using the pry opening tool here. Make sure that you guys take your time. They are quite fragile, so that means that they can break easily. Make sure that you take your time and you don't apply a lot of force into it, causing them to break. So once they are removed, you will find 2 screws on each side, totaling 4. So they are T17 size. Make sure that you remove those and keep them somewhere safe. And after those screws are removed, now you can go ahead and grab the entire radio from the middle side and just do a quick pull on it, and the whole thing should come off. The whole bezel should come off with the buttons and everything. So don't be afraid, guys. This is all normal. After that, you will find a connection on the top side where the emergency flashers are located. Make sure that you disconnect that wire by pressing on the pins on the side, and it's going to come completely off. Then after this, you will notice the radio connections, and just like you guys can see here from this harness, it comes with 3 different connectors. You had the ones for the power, speakers, and steering wheel control, so make sure that you remove each and one of them. I believe the first one is going to have 2 clips on the side. The second one is going to have 1 clip, as well as the third one, so those are very easy to remove. Once they are removed, you will find the XM radio antenna, which is the yellow one, and the AM FM antenna, which is the white one. Make sure that you unplug those as well. And finally, you will have the connector for the AC controls. Make sure that you disconnect that, and now your entire radio should come completely off. And now once you have the stereo completely removed, you can go ahead and place it on the seat. Make sure that you take out the AC control module, and it has about 4 screws, as you guys can tell from this particular bezel. And once you remove them, the whole thing will just come out, and all you have to do is place it on top of the new bezel, screw it in, and that's pretty much it. And the same thing goes here for the emergency flasher button. It comes held with 4 screws. Make sure that you put them all in place, and that's pretty much all you have to do. Then the rest is just a plug and play. Now when it comes here to the GPS antenna, you guys must run this underneath the dashboard, and one, it comes with some adhesive, or this one doesn't come with adhesive. So make sure that you just place it on the upper side of the dashboard and run the wire out where the radio is located. And it goes attached here to the back side where you see this little thread right here. It goes bolted on there. Then you connect the antenna, connect the USB ports if you want to. This is optional. Make sure that you connect the antenna to the white one. It is not the yellow one. They both look almost identical, and they actually connect to it. So make sure that you use only, again, the white color one. And finally, you will go ahead and connect the main harness and connect the factory connectors from the car into this, and that should be it. Then just place everything back in place. Make sure that you put in the AC vents back in place, and that should be the end of the installation for this particular radio, guys. As you can tell, it's very easy. It's a lot easier than my Dodge Ram 1500 due to the fact that, well, on my Dodge Ram I had to rewire the camera that goes from the back to the front. I had to do some cutting and stuff like that. But this particular one is very easy, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be almost identical on any other Kia from 2009 up to current. So now let's go ahead and jump here into the review portion of the radio. Alright guys, so here we have finished now the installation of the 9-inch radio on the Kia Forte 2012. Keep in mind that this is not one of those aftermarket radios that don't fit perfectly well on the Kia and you have to customize it by getting adapters and whatnot. This radio came like this, straight from the factory, and you guys can see that everything fits perfectly well. It is basically a plug and play, very easy to install. I would say it was a little bit easier than the radio on my Dodge Ram 1500. And now something that I do appreciate is that, well, this particular Kia has all the steering wheel here with most of the buttons that control the radio. Unlike my Dodge 1500, I can only control the volume. This one has the volume up and down. You can also go into different modes. We got the mute key on here, so just to give you a little example, you guys can see that right now I'm pressing the button right here for the volume, and everything is working perfectly well, guys. We also have this dedicated voice search button that has been activated as well. And also we have a phone app, or phone button, excuse me, that, well, now you can answer and decline phone call directly here from the steering wheel. So all the factory controls are working very nicely on this particular radio. I have to admit that I had to tweak a little bit here the buttons for the module. For the AC module, these were getting stuck a little bit, so I had to sand it here a little bit towards the bottom. You can barely see it because it camouflages here with the entire bezel, so you can't see where I sanded off a little bit, but now everything works, as you guys can see. So we got there the AC, this is the rear glass defroster, and it works just fine. The same thing goes here. Okay, and then we have all the controls. Everything, again, guys, is working perfectly well. I am so excited with the results on this particular radio. So here, let me go ahead and show you around. First of all, this is the local radio app, and this is how it looks. This is for the FM AM. Keep in mind that this radio does not come equipped with the XM radio, so that's a feature that he lost, and it's actually the only one. But he doesn't care, because honestly he wasn't even subscribed to it. He didn't know this car came equipped with it, so he can care less about losing that feature. We got here the videos app, and this is basically just Android with some apps from factory. We got the music app. This is so that when you connect the Bluetooth, you can go ahead and click on here, and then the music's going to start playing for you. And also we have SD card options. Now for this, the USB cable here that comes or the USB port that comes on the bottom has been disabled, but now I ran along the wire that I showed you guys before. I ran it along here from the back side of the radio all the way here to the glove compartment, so he can plug anything he wants right in here. The only inconvenience is that, well, now he has to open the glove box, place the flash drive on here, and then close it up, but it is better than not having it. So anyways, guys, that's it for the music app. The next one we have here is settings, and settings is quite simple. By the way, this is the steering key settings, so all you have to do is click on the, let's say here, for example, the play button, and then you will program it to whatever you want the play button to be here on the steering wheel. That's just an example. In my case, I programmed the volume up and down and all the basic ones, including mode, everything except the GPS. So there we have it for the steering wheel controls. Going back here, we can see that, well, this is mainly standard Android, as you guys can tell. Just basic settings on here. Let's go into system information. And I think that here is showing the Android, but it doesn't say the version on here. But it is the Android Marshmallow 6.0 with 2 GB of RAM and 16 GB of internal memory. Now, I mentioned before that it said 32, so I guess that was a little bit of miscommunication there. They said that it had 32, but in fact it has 16, so I do apologize for that. Here we have the processor information. Again, it is a quad-core processor. The display resolution 1024 by 600, and that's pretty much it. So let's go back here again. Now on the top here we have the capacitor buttons located on the operating system, or you can do the hardware ones, which are located on the side of the radio, so you choose. Me personally, having the steering wheel right here is kind of hard, being the driver, to see these buttons right here. So I guess that my friend from work is going to use the buttons here on the upper right hand side corner. Let me see what else I can show you guys here. It comes with the navigation. Now unfortunately there's a file that needs to be downloaded so that you can select it for your country. So the navigation says no navigation app. That's because he hasn't downloaded the files yet. I just finished the installation on this particular radio, guys, and again, this car is not mine, so I can't take the time much to do you know, everything in one video. So hopefully on a future video I can show you guys that the GPS is working perfectly well. Now this is a common feature on Chinese radios. We have seen it work many times before. We even have the GPS antenna located here on the top side, as you guys saw from the installation, and yes, it is working just fine. I'm not getting any issues whatsoever. So all in all, guys, this radio is amazing. Also, the quality coming out of the speakers themselves is very nice. As a matter of fact, this car came with some sort of LED lights that turn on every time the music is playing. So I'm going to show you something here. I'm going to briefly increase the volume, and you guys will notice. Let's go here into the radio app. Charlie Puth y más, conducido por DJ Khaled Haley Baldwin. So I don't want to do a copyright on here, guys, so let me go ahead and stop this real quick. There we go. I do apologize for the noise there, guys, but you saw that, well, the lights are working. So all the factory features of the car are working perfectly well with this particular radio. Like I said, the only one that is not working is the XM radio. These radios are available for any Kia from 2009 all the way up to current, meaning 2018. So you just have to contact the seller. If they don't have it, they can make it for you. They can make it happen for you. They made it happen for me on this particular car. As you can see, I don't have the electronic AC controls. These are manual, and they were able to help me out. So with this being said, guys, again, if you have any questions, comment below. Please like the video, and I'll see you guys on my next one.